Hello everyone, welcome to 16th Q&A session for PMP exam preparation. So I hope you could see my screen. Is it visible to all of you?
Yes.
All right, so our today's topic is team empowerment or empower team members and stakeholders. Again, it's a people domain, which is very important for exam. And today we will be talking about question number 151 to question number 160. Right, so your time starts now. Again, I will show you a question. You will read the question and put your answer in the chat window directly to me, not to everyone. So let's start with first question, 151. All right. Heather, you have chosen option C. Why?
Um, I think I remember reading about it as a voting technique where um, all your fists closed with 0 and then up to each finger up to 5 as full agreement.
All right. Richard, you have chosen C.
Yes, I felt that that was probably the best answer.
All right. Thank you. Ellen, you have chosen option C. We're not able to hear you. You're on mute. All right. So if you recall, when we discussed this theory in detail, we actually played that as well during the course. Remember the example, and the example was how many people or participants in the class think we should end the session now or we need a break. And then some of you showed 5 fingers, some of you showed closed fist. And then I explained different team members or different teams use this technique differently. Some of 5 fingers like this is a sign of support, and sometimes closed fist is also a sign of support. So for example, if you go to watch your support, watch any of your favorite sports or soccer ball or cricket match or whatever, so you support your team with closed fist. So different teams use it differently. Before using this technique, you decide what is meant by 5 fingers and what is meant by closed fist. If you decide closed fist means full support, then you use it as closed fist means full support. So different teams use it differently. Correct answer is the interpretation of the gestures varies from one team to another. And I clearly recall almost in every session, we use this method, and I clearly mention like it varies from team to team. So whatever you have decided, accordingly, you would be playing that. Let's read the explanation. All right, I hope it is clear. Let's move to question number 2. All right. So, Lala, you have chosen option C. Why?
So I think successfully meeting the expectation of the customer would be project success and a development product. And also when we talk about agile, so agile is about the customer satisfaction. So that's what I
So
thought
it,
is C.
it should be B, not C, according to your definition. Prioritizing the customer needs as the most crucial factor.
Yeah, that's what one of the principles of agile, no? Like customer satisfaction, right?
Yeah, but you have chosen option C.
Um, oh yes, so
That could be a mistake. It's okay.
right, yeah.
Okay. Um, Vamshi, you have chosen option A. Why?
So here we are talking about the criteria to define that success, right? That
Mhm.
success should include both product and project success, like we discussed two pieces. That's why
Right.
we need to calculate on the customer side as a product and stakeholders for the project. That's why
Okay.
it's selected like A.
Right. Amandeep, you have chosen option A. Why?
I was thinking exactly the same how it was explained just now. The question is like, which of the following choices would best encompass the achievement of both product and project success? So I guess there are a lot of key stakeholders involved and customer, and I guess for the overall success, meeting the expectations of both would be considered as the is seems to be a good option here.
All right. Thank you. What's wrong with option D? Nobody has chosen option D.
Maybe that's the right answer. Nobody picked it.
Because customer is not involved.
Alan, please repeat what you have said.
Because customer is not involved in the option D. So Agile is focused on feedback from customer and stakeholders.
No, Alan, customer is part of all stakeholders. When we say all stakeholders, customer is part of that.
So
How
looks
do
like
you look
that's the
at
answer.
Alan? Okay, Heather, do you want to say something?
Well, I was just going to say, I don't think it's possible to meet the requirements of all stakeholders.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's not possible to meet requirements of all the stakeholders. And one obvious thing is competitor is also your stakeholder. You cannot satisfy your competitor. You don't meet competitors' requirements. You understand? So meeting requirements of all stakeholders, as Heather mentioned, is not possible, right? Successfully meeting expectation of customer and just your senior management? No, that is not the right answer. If government is one of your key stakeholders, you should meet their requirements as well. Prioritizing only the customer needs? No, you would exclude key stakeholders. So that's not the only factor. Correct answer is meeting expectations of customer and key stakeholders. I'm happy most of you have answered this correctly. So you'll see similar question in the exam. Now it's very basic question. There is no technicality involved in this question, right? Very simple question. And you might be thinking like this is super easy and simple question. Why I'm not able to find the right answer. So most of the exam questions would be like that. Very simple, straight, short, precise. There won't be long statements. So something like that. This is the ideal PMP question. Okay. Right. Let's move to the next question or read the explanation first. All right. Next question. After reading the explanation, if you have any comment, please don't hesitate to share. Okay. Next question, please. 153. All right, Anton, could you please elaborate why you have chosen option A?
Well, you need to know who are you dealing with, right? Before you like introduce the new comer to the team, you need to know what type of person that is, what are his interests, what is the preferred way of communication. Yeah, that's why I chose A.
All right, thank you. Heather, you have chosen option C.
About the same logic, but I chose C. I think I was thinking I originally thought categorize by role, but how do you do that if you don't know them and you don't know what their interests are or their investment is in the project? So all it says is that you were informed about the introduction of a new leader, not anything about who they are. So I thought maybe a meeting first would be helpful.
Okay. Lela?
I didn't pick A first. I was thinking about A, but then I read the question. It says it's the influential stakeholder. So we already identified that, you know, this new stakeholder is a very influential, right? So that's when I went with the C. I said since we already know he's influential stakeholders, we just maybe need to arrange a meeting.
All right. So you have identified we have done something or we know something, so let's move forward, okay? Vamshi?
Yeah, my explanation is just like same.
All right.
They informed sometimes will include all the details and sometimes like a formal inform, but when you talk about agile project leader, right, he get an email or any invitation to know like who is joining, what is his role and everything. That's why I opted for C.
All right. So absolutely right. If we want to do anything about that particular stakeholder, first we need the right information. First, we need some detail about that stakeholder. And since stakeholder is powerful, so the best choice is arrange a meeting with this newly added project stakeholder. Talk to them, understand their preferences, understand their needs, and accordingly come back and analyze and develop strategies. So the very first thing is you need right information. And for that, it's better to arrange a meeting with this newly added influential project stakeholder. Right? Let's read the explanation. All right, let's move to next question. So if you have any comment when you read the explanation, just raise your hand or you can write in the chat window. Okay. 154. All right. So Vamshi, you have chosen option D. Why?
So here we are talking about the team manager who is managing the workable teams, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mostly for the workable teams, like if you talk about agile, we have like most iterations of the development cycles. So they, rather than distributing the copies or pasting somewhere, reiterating the vision to the team on every development cycle makes sense.
All right. Richard, you have chosen option D.
Yeah, as I read this, it is asking how to keep it continuously. And so, I felt that, at the beginning of every sprint, that communicating with everybody on your team probably would be the best way. Some people ignore things that are written. They'll just walk past them. At least that way, you know that you're in front of them and you are verbalizing what the team's vision is for the next development cycle, and always maintaining that end goal in mind.
All right, absolutely. So if you read the question, it says, which approach would be the most effective? So maybe all of these things are effective, but one of them would be the most effective. So introduce and explain the product vision during the initial team meeting. That's correct. We do that. But if we make sure that team is aware of product vision throughout the project lifecycle, just introducing the vision in the start is not sufficient. So option A is incorrect. Option B, keep the product vision visibly pasted in a common area. Same problem as Richard mentioned. A lot of people, they do not read whatever is there, right? So it's important to reiterate. It's important to verbalize. And at the start of each or during iteration planning meeting, teams define iteration goal. That iteration goal should be aligned with the product vision. So it's vital to reiterate or verbalize a product vision statement during the each iteration cycle or during each sprint. All right, distribute a copy of product vision. There's no point of that. That is not as effective as if you communicate. So option D is correct. So there's a comment in chat window, but wouldn't an agile team be used to information radiators? Yes, it is absolutely right, but that is mostly for progress. You're right. That is mostly for progress to see what's going on in the project, right? Because that is changing, that is dynamic. So teams are involved in that. But having a vision written, nobody would daily read the same thing, right? If you have pasted something in the start, people would read for the first time or maybe first week, then they would, take it as a routine work. They won't be looking at that. So the most effective thing is reiterate, say it again and again. At the start of each iteration or development cycle, repeat it. Right. Let's read the explanation. If you have any comment, please don't hesitate to share.
I have a comment. Also, we can discard the option that mentioned like a post-it in the area, because the tools like Kanban or something like that help us just to focus on the specific activities, right? So it can be used.
So you're saying option of pasting something or like information radiator is not suitable because it is not Kanban? Is it your logic?
No, because Kanban or those tools to track the activities just help us to see the the small activities of that sprint. So it don't take like the whole view.
Okay, your voice is not clear. I'm finding difficult to understand, but what you're saying is, I guess you're saying Kanban is more, uh, attractive or something like that. It's dynamic, it's changing. So people are, they are constantly looking at that, but something which is written, textual description may not be helpful. But it would be great if you write your comment in the chat window. All right. So meanwhile, Alan
Kumar,
writes,
I have
you can read
one
the
more question.
explanation. So Alan is saying Kanban is just to track small activities. Yeah, okay. So this is a good comment. Let's go back. Alan is saying, since Kanban is to track progress, so there is no need of Kanban. But Alan, there is no option in the question that says use Kanban, right? So your comment is right, but that is not relevant to the question. So information radiators, you can use that, but in this case is not the most effective way. Okay, let's move to next question. 155. All right, Chinemis, you have chosen option A. Why B, C, and D are incorrect?
So for me, B is incorrect. I used elimination technique. First, incorporate this new requirement into the existing sprint. This is incorrect. This is not for the Scrum Master to do or the project manager to do. Then B, add the requirement in the next sprint. This is not the job of the Scrum Master or project manager. And then I was left with A and D. And then I know by Scrum principles or Agile principles, this is the function of the product owner. Should be the one liaising with the stakeholder and then bringing in requirements. That's why I went for A.
All right. Okay. So Vamshi, you have chosen option C.
So as a Scrum Master role, like the current sprint we already planned, sometimes the PA is already planned. Whenever we get any important or anything required for the current product, the main thing that a Scrum Master do, like add in a backlog for the analysis. So product owner and generally with the Scrum Master in the team, while they analysis, they see the where they can able to place that. That's the reason, like we generally do the same kind of
All
things.
right. Now that's very interesting comment. So Scrum Master, what they do is they place the item in the backlog. But the problem with this option is that it says add the requirement in next sprint backlog.
That
You
is
can you
that's
can add in product backlog,
yes,
but not in next sprint
no,
backlog.
yes, I didn't saw the next sprint word.
Yeah,
We just
so-
add a backlog, but not in the next sprint.
absolutely. Because it's product owner's responsibility to prioritize and then decide if it is next sprint or after that or maybe later. And all other options B and D, that's not job of
Yeah,
Scrum
then we
Master
go with the A.
as Chinamis mentioned. So correct answer is suggest that the stakeholder discusses this new requirement with the
Yes.
product owner. If you have any comment, feel free to share. Richard, go ahead.
So as I understand it, stakeholder can be government. So if an influential stakeholder like a government agency imposes a new requirement and us as the project manager, in order to deliver the correct information and how it impacts our project, I would think that we would want to analyze. So let's say a new environmental code comes out and requires us to be compliant on a construction site. We would have to, discuss what the exposure level is and then tell the product owner what they have to do. This doesn't separate whether this is, I guess it's a Scrum Master, so this would be an agile thing. I'm thinking more or less along the lines of a waterfall.
Absolutely.
But okay, so I understand now. Thank you.
So you're correct. So since it is agile and we're using Scrum, so Scrum Master's role is different. For all coordination and collaboration with business units and customer, the primary responsibility is of project manager. It's like same, for example, in waterfall, if you have a risk manager and you have a project manager. So risk manager is not responsible for business collaboration. It's the project manager's job to do that, or business analyst's job to do that. So they have defined roles and responsibilities. So correct answer is A. Let's read the explanation. All right. Next question. All right. So first of all, if you recall, I told you there would be different types of questions in the exam. So one type of question would be multiple choice questions where you will be having a scenario-based statement with 4 options and you have to pick one. However, there would be some questions in which you have to pick more than one options. So specifically, when you see 5 options, it means you have to pick more than one. And it is clearly written in the statement which 2 of the following options should the team leader select. So you have to select 2. It is clearly written, right? So those who have chosen A, it means it's incorrect, right? I mean, one option. So Lala, you have chosen E and A. Could you please elaborate why?
So here we're talking about team, responsible accountability, right? What is the best option to develop the team's accountability? So I picked E, creating a RACI chart, which is a roles and responsibilities, right? And the other one I picked A, implementing a responsibility assignment matrix. So that way we know the team's responsibility and accountability.
Okay, your answer is correct, but explanation needs more detail. We'll come to that. Okay. Chinamis, you have chosen A and C. Why? I can see a lot of people are not answering. Please answer, right? If your answer is wrong, you'll get some understanding. We would be able to discuss that. So at least answer. Okay, Chinamis, go ahead.
I know that RACI chart shows clarifies which individuals or group are responsible for certain tasks of the project. And then also I know that the responsibility assignment matrix also shows which team members are responsible for also tasks. That's why I chose A and E. The other ones, B, C, D, do not actually show who's responsible for tasks. B,
All
C,
right.
and D.
Chinamis, if you recall, we talked about all these plans. These plans contain guidelines only. They don't exactly define who is accountable for that. So resources management plan cannot be the right answer. These plans are SOPs, standard operating procedures, guidelines, tools and techniques, templates and formats. So they do not clearly define who is accountable for that particular activity. We use
That's why I said A and E.
Okay, you have chosen A and E.
A
Okay.
and E, yes.
Okay, I thought you
I
have.
said that B, C, and D are not, they don't show who's responsible for tasks. B, C, and D.
But your answer says you have chosen A and C. Maybe that could be a mistake.
Oh, no, A and E.
Yeah.
So that's why I explained that RESI chart shows who's responsible for managing
Absolutely.
tasks
So
and individuals.
if we look at this, A and E are exactly same thing. RACI is a form of RAM. RACI, what is RACI? R stands for responsible. A stands for accountable, right? If you recall. So in RACI, R is responsible, right? A is accountable. C is consult. I is inform, right? RACI, you can, tailor it according to your own needs. Now, RACI is form of RAM. So both are same things. So correct answer is A and E. All other options are irrelevant. So resource breakdown structure, what is that? It is categorization of resources. It doesn't define accountability or responsibility. Resources management plan, it's all about guidelines. And resource histogram, it tells you about resource utilization. How many resources are planned for a particular day, week, or month, and how many resources have been actually used. So that is called histogram. So frequency of resources is documented in a form of a chart that is called resource histogram. So correct answer is option A and E. You have to choose one. Okay. There's a question in the chat window. What if I select one option? Then would the exam take it as a bad option? So what I recall, maybe that exam would not allow you to move forward, I guess. I'm not sure about it. There would be a pop-up that would tell you select one more, I guess. I might be wrong because I forget. I would check it and then I will let you know. But it would be clearly specified in the question, choose two, choose three. So when you read the explanation, pay attention to that. In this question, it is written in the middle, right? Which two of the following? In the exam, it would be written in the end in parentheses. Select two, select three. So it's super easy to identify, okay? Let's read the explanation.
May I ask? Possible, Ahmad?
Yes, Yusuf, go ahead.
Yeah. Now, the question raised the issue of resources in relation to accountability. Does it touch this concept? The two concepts, they touch each other somehow? I want just to understand, is there any basis on this? That's it. Because the question is kept for that. Yeah, I'm not questioning anything, but I would like to know. Because, for me, it was easy when I read A, anything with resources, I cancel, cancel, cancel. I did not, but I could not sense the issue from my side.
All right. So if we read the question, it says, in a project management scenario where a team leader is focusing on enhancing team accountability for a major project, they are considering various tools and techniques to achieve this. Which two of the following options should the team leader select to best develop team accountability? Right? So the question is about how to determine team accountability. There is only one problem. You need to define, you need to make the team accountable. So only two tools are relevant to accountability. One is A, second is E. All other tools or documents, they are used for other purposes. So correct answer is A and E. There is only one problem. You need to specify accountability. We use RAM and RACI chart for that. Is it clear, Yusuf?
Yeah, it's clear for me. It's clear. I understand this concept. But okay, that's good. Thank you.
All right. Let's move to next question, 157. All right. So Amandeep, you have chosen option C. Why?
Hi, Amar. I guess the question asks for diverse and rapidly changing demand of customer. So cross-functional team, I thought would be a good option here because a lot of people from um, diverse background would be involved, and it would have more innovative skills. People would have more innovative and creative skills here, so that could incorporate all the diverse changes.
All right, great. Now, you have said if we incorporate people from multiple functions, this would enhance creativity and innovation. But do you think that the problem in the question is enhancing creativity or innovation? Is it a challenge? If you read the last line, what does it say? Amandeep?
The last statement says which one would be the most effective in ensuring that the product development aligns with customer needs and foster innovation.
Okay. So the
So
question,
that's why I thought foster innovation would be like in cross-functional team.
yeah, you're right. But what about product development aligns with customer need? And if we go back, it says project where customer needs are diverse and rapidly changing, recognizing the importance of incorporating customer feedback to enhance the product. You decide to employ a strategy that involves active customer participation. You understand? That involves active customer participation. So you're
Got it.
addressing innovation part, but what would happen to this part?
Okay.
That's the main thing you want to do. You need active customer participation. Active customer participation cannot be done just by having cross-functional team. You're right, cross-functional team is helpful in innovation. But what about the main challenge that we are handling in this question? We want to ensure active customer participation. For that, answer is something else. We'll talk about that. Okay. But good logic and rationale for choosing option C. Okay. Lala, you have chosen option B. Why?
I thought since we're talking about fostering innovation, which needs multi people from different backgrounds, right? Customers from different backgrounds. So I picked co-creation.
I mean, your explanation doesn't align with co-creation. So your explanation is aligned with the answer C. If you need people from diverse background, then you should go with C. But C has nothing to do with customer collaboration. Okay, C has nothing to do with customer participation. Okay. Shri, you have chosen option D. Why?
The reason is in the second line, I see a rapid changing, which makes me to think of an agile thing.
Mm-hmm.
And mostly Scrum of Scrums is a meeting in which happens between, at least to discuss like what is happening, like in a high level from the team actually, where the Scrum Master, Product Owner, and these guys will be discussing. So yeah.
Scrum is a different thing. It means multiple teams are working on the project. So Scrum of Scrum is like program in waterfall, where you have multiple projects which are producing a collective outcome or product. So you have different teams, different scrums, you group them together, and those are called Scrum of Scrum. Again, this has nothing to do with customer involvement and participation. If you really want to involve customer, you need customer feedback, you bring creativity and innovation, the best option is co-creation. Now, what is co-creation? Co-creation is making customer part of your team, having customer as part of your team, give them some role. So now you're co-creating, you're creating something together. If you really want to involve customer, have them in your team, give them some roles so they are actively involved in the project. So this is how you will be ensuring customer participation and creativity and innovation. Right? So option B is correct. Option A, co-location, means just having team members under one roof, physically closer to each other while they're working. So it's against virtual teams. So co-location means not virtual, not remote. Co-creation is the right answer. Let's read the explanation. If you have any comment, feel free to share. All right, I hope it is clear. Let's move to question number 158. All right, so Heather, you have chosen B. Why?
Because in the textbook, holding a kickoff meeting is at the bottom of the planning phase column.
Okay.
I don't have a good logic. I've just been trying to memorize.
So you're saying in the textbook, kickoff meeting is after initiation. So that's why, right?
It's at the bottom of the planning column. So you
Bottom
have your
of the planning.
yeah, you have your initiation where you're doing your project. Oh, unless I've read this wrong. Initiation where you're doing your project charter, and then it goes into planning, and then at the bottom of the planning column is hold a kickoff meeting.
All right. So you're saying when you're about to complete planning or when you're moving to the execution, you do kickoff meeting. Is it your answer?
At the end of planning before execution, yes.
Before execution. Okay, right. Now, let's do that, what we discussed in the session. So we divide the work into 5 different sections. So we have initiation followed by planning, then we have execution, then we have product closure. On top of that, we have project monitoring and controlling. So this is initiation, followed by planning. Then we have execution. And then we have monitoring and controlling on top. And the last one is project closing. Now, if we look at option number 1, it says after the project initiation phase is completed. So means here. Is it clear, everyone? According to option 1, it should be somewhere here. Option 2 says following the completion of project planning phase. So option B says it should be here. Option C says at the beginning of the planning or execution. Now, what is beginning of planning and execution? Anyone, please? So this is beginning of planning. This is beginning of execution.
The way I answered this, sorry, the way that I answered this question, it never specified whether this was agile or waterfall. So I know in class you said that agile usually kicks off at the beginning of planning because everybody needs to be on board, where waterfall kickoff needs to be at the beginning of execution because the project management team does all the planning.
No, there was no such explanation. Yes, I did that. I'll explain that what I did, okay? I'll explain. I'm coming to that. Option D says at the beginning of the planning phase, means here. So why I'm saying, if you look at after option A and D, they are same option. So what is A? A is after the project phase is completed, means here, this green one. And if you look at D, it says at the beginning of the planning, it is again same. So you can simply eliminate A and D because both are same. Does it make sense, everybody?
Yes.
So both are same. It means if two options are same, those can't be the correct answer. Now, next is following the completion of the project planning phase. So planning phase is this, means here, this blue one. And option C says at the beginning of the planning or execution, means it could be here at point A, it could be here at point B. So if you read the text, it clearly states kickoff meeting can be held after initiation or after planning. It depends upon size of project. If project is small, kickoff meeting would be held after initiation. If you have a large project, kickoff meeting would be held after planning. And if some of you recall, you raise a question like why this is the case, because in large projects, you need to do a lot of planning work. If you need to do a lot of planning work, so it's better to communicate shared vision with the team once you're done with the planning, once you have clear understanding about the project for large projects. And for small projects, since less detail is needed, so it's better to communicate during the end of initiation while you move into the planning stage. So correct answer is kickoff meeting can be held right after completion, right after planning, or at the start of planning or at the start of execution. So correct answer is answer C. Let's read the explanation.
Again, this Ammar is rated to waterfall projects or for both of them? Because in the waterfall, usually it's only in the initiation phase. It's not in the planning phase, because the planning is something else. It's after kickoff. When they agree on it, you start to do the project charter and other things. So
Okay. So Yusuf, primarily it is for waterfall. Why? Because large projects are waterfall projects where you need to do a lot of documentation, a lot of, planning work. So it is for waterfall projects. So if you read PMBOK guide, Project Management Body of Knowledge Guide, it is clearly stated for small infrastructure projects or for small projects, kickoff meeting is held after initiation. For large projects, it is held after planning. And it makes sense. Why? Because the purpose of kickoff meeting is to have shared understanding among stakeholders, to tell stakeholders who we are, what are roles and responsibilities of different stakeholders, and how we are going to execute the project. What is our approach? What is the strategy? In small projects, the strategy and information is clear during initiation. But for large projects, it is not clear until you completely plan the project. So you are in a better position to explain to the stakeholders, like, we are moving to the execution stage. This is what we have planned. So that's why for large projects, it is good to have kickoff meeting after planning, right? So that the execution team and everyone is on board and they have shared understanding how we are going to execute the project. Right. Is it clear, everyone? If not, you can ask.
Can you just go
Yeah,
back to the answers, please?
Yeah, please. Okay.
So if you look at D, it says at the beginning of the planning phase, which could be correct, right?
Yeah, but that's not the only answer. It could be correct, yes. But the best option is option C. It could be after initiation, after planning, right? So both are correct. So option C is the right answer. It's the complete statement. D is incomplete statement. So incomplete statement cannot be the right answer. Even the
I
A
see.
is correct. A is also correct. D is correct. Even the B is correct. All are correct, but the best option, the complete option is option C, right? All right. Let's move to the next question.
I think this was very, very tricky question.
All right. Question number 159. All right. Chinamis, you have chosen option A. Why?
So I know the team charter is what binds how the team behaves, the clear guidelines, agreements, and who's responsible for what. Sorry, guidelines, agreements, how they're going to work together, um, values and stuff like that. So it's just for the team, the project team. And I looked at the other options. I'm seeing key stakeholders, client coordination team, business development team, and I know team charter is just for the project team. So that's why I chose A.
All right. Thank you. Rahul, you have chosen option B. Why?
Yeah, actually, project management team and key stakeholder involve all the departments or functions, I can say. So between the these both functions, sign up would be much enough.
All right. So what is team charter, by the way? Team charter is a document that outlines norms, behaviors, values, code of conduct, meeting protocols, conflict resolution methodologies, authority level, decision-making processes or methods. So all of these things are internal to the team. They have nothing to do with external entities. So for example, one of the key stakeholders is client. Client does not sign your team charter. This is an internal document. So key stakeholders cannot be an option. So project management team and key stakeholders, this is incorrect. Client does not sign this. If government is key stakeholder, they would not be signing that, right? If contractor is key stakeholder, they won't be signing your team charter. It is internal to the team. Project management team and client coordination team, again, it's an incorrect answer. Project management team and business development team, it's an internal document that is for project management team that is signed during the norming stage of the project. If you recall Bruce Tuckman team development model, forming, storming, norming, and performing and journey. It is signed during the norming stage of the team development model. It is internal to the team. That's why it is called team charter. It is within the team, right? So team dynamics are documented, team values, norms are documented so that they govern their behavior, right? And if there are any kind of violations, then those are penalized. Correct answer is answer A. Let's read the explanation.
So business analysis, they don't have any rule that charter signature agreement.
I'll come to that. Yusuf, let's read the explanation first, everyone. All right, so Yusuf's point is, what's the role of business development team? See, project manager is responsible to manage project-related work with the help of project team. Project manager does not have any control on business development team. They are separate team. They might be having their own charter, whatever they call it. But for team charter for a particular project, that would be signed by the project management team. because project manager, they have nothing to do with business development team. That is governed by another functional manager maybe. So this is internal for the team. They might be having their own document, whatever they call it. But for project management team, it's an internal document to govern internal relationships. So team charter is the right answer. We don't care how other teams are managing themselves because we don't have any role or any responsibility for them. And they are not bound by our charter, right? It's our internal. Okay. So
Just a question for me as because I'm interested in this as a person. Now, the business analysis team, can one of them be the project manager or not?
no, it varies from organization to organization, but from PMI perspective, business analyst is a different role, project manager is a different role. They can't be merged. Both are entirely different roles, right? So we do not say business analyst is a project manager. Maybe an organization can appoint somebody business analyst as a project manager, but both are different roles. Same is the case, for example, we say product owner is a different role, scrum master is a different role. If an organization merges these two roles, it doesn't mean that is in line with what PMI says. So business analysis or business analyst is a different role, project manager is a different role. Both have different responsibilities.
Yeah. Well,
okay, next question. All right, Amandeep, you have chosen option A. Why?
I feel like in the question, they mentioned that they have done debate and they have already tried voting method, but they couldn't. So the last option, delay the decision until more information is available. I don't think so. The team may consider employing voting method because I guess I also eliminated this because they have already tried that. The team should accept the decision of an appropriate decision making authority. I was confused between the first and second option, and I thought I would go with A because the team should again try to reach out consensus because it's best form of decision making.
All right, thank you. Alan, you have chosen option C. Why?
The question doesn't mention like if they need to make a consensus. I mean, like they are just to choose one, and they need to have like a best decision, so they can use like a fifth or something. That is my.
Right, so you're saying they can use fist of five and something like that, okay? But Alan, the problem with this option is that it is clearly written, as Amandeep mentioned, despite prolonged debate and voting. They have already done with the voting. So if they're done with the voting, there is no point of doing that again. Now, Lela, you have chosen option A. Why?
Yeah, first, I eliminated option D and C because it's a question. It's saying they already debated, they already voted that they couldn't compromise. So those two are out of the my choices. And then B wouldn't be, I thought wouldn't be correct because just somebody just coming making a decision for you and you just follow it. I don't think that would be appropriate either. So that's why I picked A.
All right. Thank you. Richard, you have chosen option B.
while I agree that a consensus should be reached, they said that they could not come up with one. So if they cannot all agree on a decision, I felt it best that an authority figure take the decision and then at least focus the team, and that way they can stop deliberating and move toward an actual goal.
All right. So if we say consensus is a part of voting. It's one form of voting. Remember, we talked about unanimity, unanimous decision or consensus-based decision. This is a form of voting. They have already done that. Despite debate and voting, they haven't reached consensus. They haven't agreed on majority. They haven't agreed on anything. So there is no point of doing A again, right? Although it's the best option, but they're not able to do that. And the last option, D, problem with D is that until more information is available, there is no indication in the question that says there is lack of information, or the right information is not available, or it is too early, or they are waiting for the information. So D is eliminated. It's not the right answer. Team may consider employee voting. It is already done. The team should try to reach consensus. They tried but failed. Correct answer is somebody who is appropriate. So here they would be using autocracy. I told you when immediate compliance is needed or when teams are not able to reach a decision, then somebody from the leadership, maybe product owner or scrum master or project manager, they intervene and they facilitate the situation. So considering this, B is the appropriate option. Let's read the explanation. All right, I hope it is clear. If you need any kind of help, any kind of PMP related guidance, don't hesitate to contact me, seek help. You can directly schedule one-on-one meeting with me by scanning this QR code. This is Calendly link. You can find the link on my LinkedIn as well. And also you have a contact number here. My team would be in touch with you, so you can contact anytime. So I hope you're preparing well. These questions are framed to test the overall understanding of your preparation or project management concept. Don't get discouraged if you're getting less than 5. This is not evaluation. This is actually helping you understand more concepts. So when we solve a question, we learn a new concept, right? So for example, today we have solved 10 questions. So it means you have learned 10 new concepts. So this is a learning process, right? I hope it is clear. And most of you have got good marks today, which is quite encouraging. I'm happy. These questions are slightly challenging. If I compare these questions with real exam, these are comparable to real exam. So real exam would be similar to this. Okay. So the mock exams that you did during the course, those were slightly easier, but these questions are exactly similar and sometimes slightly difficult to the real exam if I compare. But you're doing great job. I'm happy you're making progress. All right, everybody, thank you so much. See you on Monday, same time with another topic. We are still discussing people domain, and next 10 to 15 sessions would be regarding people domain. All right, take care. Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you
Have
very
a
much.
nice weekend.
Ritual, thanks.
Have a nice weekend. Bye.